was running a D&D campaign, and the big bad was a vampire. So naturally, I did my vampire voice. Like, you've come to my lair. But it got real, like Rastafarian. And it was shameful. It's like, oh, man, what have you done here?
Did you throw a man in there?
At that point, you just have to lean into it.
Yeah, after a while, you throw in a man. You got to.
Give the people what they want. Yes. Oh, don't set my dreads on fire.
Oh, you killed my zombies, mother mercy.
Lord of mercy. Oh, boy.
Empowerment.
A scooby dabba dooba dabba dee. Oh,
Say
man, what an
boom
easy
boom
song.
now. Huh?
Just fucking scat manning that one up. The name of my band, a scuba dabba babba dabba, and I made a song. Easy
And
shit.
he looked so stupid with his little circle glasses.
Mm-hmm.
God. I don't know if I ever told you this story, but we're going to have story time right now. I worked with a guy from Venezuela, a little bit older than us. And it was amazing to me what songs from here were hits down there and then songs he had never heard of. So if I've said this before, I apologize. But we were talking about hits of the 90s or whatever. And like, Phil Collins, big there. Michael Jackson, big there. Obvious. And then I asked him about, whoop, there it is. Whoop, there. He's like, I've never heard this song in my life. I was like, wow, it was so big here for a while, like at sporting events and things like that, right?
Yeah.
And then I played Informer. He's like, oh, I know this. This song was huge there.
Mm-hmm.
Informer.
Whoop, there it is. No. Space Jam, yes. You gotta jam and take it to the jam.
Yeah, like
That's
Bryan
was that on
Adams,
Spotify?
huge there.
Oh, God, in Venezuela?
Yeah, like Weezer, never heard of him.
That I get. You go ahead. I'm fucking putting Space Jam songs in my playlist. Quad C DJs. That's the one I wanted.
I
And I'm
believe
back.
I can fly. That's the obvious one, right?
I'm back at the pocket.
I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Get sued with our podcast songs. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. Makes door like a 15-syllable word.
Yeah.
I believe I can fly.
I can fly.
Was
That's
that
the
our
Bodie
graduation song or like one of the classes before us? I think ours was a Whitney Houston song.
I don't remember having a song.
Yeah,
I don't
in
remember
8th
any of that
grade.
shit.
Not in high school. Psh. No.
I don't remember.
We had a music teacher at...
Did I graduate? Now I'm wondering that.
I'm pretty sure you did because you went to high school. We had a music teacher in grade school that was like super into everything, and so all of the graduation classes had songs that they all had to sing and rehearse and everything. And he took it all really seriously.
Yeah, he cared about his job.
Yeah, he did. He did a really good job. And he's dead now, but
Super dead.
But he was great, and man, I can't remember. He did yell at somebody for trying to do a Whitney Houston run, like a run where you
No, I don't.
go up and down with your voice, like I was doing with the open door.
What's that called? Modulating? I don't know words.
No, it's just called a riff or a run. And he's like, you guys all can't do that at once. It doesn't sound terrible.
Yes, this is very true.
It sounds terrible
was
just
right.
when I do it.
To be fair,
Just me by myself.
He nailed it. He was like, "No, it's gonna be fucking awful.
Yeah.
Your parents are gonna be so upset with me and you."
I was in two musicals in grade school with him, and man, he was hard on you. It was rough.
Yeah, he's good at his job.
Oh yeah,
Cared, hated kids. That's what I got out of it.
yeah.
I don't know if it was just the classes that I had that we were just too rambunctious or assholes.
Yeah.
But boy, we knew when we had music class, it's like, all right, strap in, because we were about to get it from both barrels.
Yeah, and you knew that they were the instigator kids. You knew these are the kids that are going to push his buttons today.
Yeah.
and he would throw a fit.
You know what I would do to get him going? I'd be bad at music.
That's
And
most of the kids.
He's like, it's fucking xylophones, Dale. Red, yellow, green, blue, orange. Just hit it in that fucking. They color coded it for you, you fat fuck.
One time he threw me under the bus. It was shortly after I started playing the guitar, and we were doing like violin stuff in class. He had like these like shitty student violins. They were like a piece of plywood, but they had strings on them and stuff, and you could play them like an actual violin. And he paid for all that out of his own pocket. Anyway, we're going over stuff, and I'm like half paying attention, and I'm like talking while he's doing. He's like, "Oh, you think just because you play guitar now, you know everything about all the stringed instruments?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, I don't. Just shut up now." He just took time to stop class and make sure I looked like an asshole.
Sometimes he just had to assassinate a child in front of his peers.
You have to, so they know that you're strong. They'll smell your weaknesses.
Now, I thought while you were singing that R. Kelly song, which way too longer than you should have, I was thinking, did they make a Space Jam 2? Because I know they were talking about it.
I don't think so. I mean,
no, they didn't. Not yet, but
if they did, it was like a direct-to-video thing that none of us ever saw.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if it was just like, Brendan Fraser's in it.
Why would Brendan Fraser be in it?
Because he's your fucking DVD man.
But he would just hit jump shots from far away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. His free throw form, out of this world. But they're talking about a Space Jam 2 with LeBron James. So that's still just talked about.
Are Warner Brothers cartoons a thing anymore? Like, are those valuable commodities to be marketed? I don't think they are.
I don't.
Didn't they pull all of it off the air for being sexist and racist and violent?
Well, they make new ones.
Do they, though?
Shit. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I mean, I have children. I don't think so.
Well, there's a million channels, and you got Comedy Network and Cartoon Central.
I'm sure somebody plays the reruns, but it wasn't like when we were, like, think about it. When's the last time you were out in public at a store or something and just saw, like, Bugs Bunny?
Six Flags.
At a store, not at a place that Warner Brothers owns.
The roller coaster store. Bugs Bunny.
Don't you feel like when we were kids, you'd be out and about, and there would be like, you know, Bugs Bunny notebook or, you know.
Tweety was hot.
Yeah, Tweety Bird, Tasmanian Devil.
Taz.
It's Taz.
It's Taz. Guys love Taz, and bitches love that Tweety Bird.
They did.
Tattoo.
My cousin had a Tweety Bird like hanging up in her first car she ever owned, like hanging up in her mirror. But you don't see that stuff anymore. Like they had.
I don't, but you probably would have a better outlook on it because you go to toy stores because you have children.
And I'm telling you, like Disney still hot everywhere.
Oh yeah,
comic book shit, Ninja Turtles, yeah.
Well,
Warner Brothers, no, nothing.
Well, they churn out new stuff. They tweak it, they revamp it, new characters, new shows. I mean, it's not like here's the Bugs Bunny murder mystery hour where Bugs and Daffy have to solve. It's essentially Scooby-Doo with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, but don't pretend you wouldn't watch every fucking second of that. They don't do any. They never did anything new. They didn't say, okay, the kids are growing up, so let's make a more risque, mature one, like an Adventure Time sense of humor. They never did anything.
Well, if you think about it, what company is that? That's Warner Brothers. What company is Disney? Disney. What do they have? Marvel. What do they know how to use? Their properties. What does Warner Brothers always drop the ball on? Their properties.
Like DC.
Yeah, shit in the bed.
That was just a fucking backdoor burn. He's just like, how can I get to shitting on DC here? Let's go a long way for a short trip.
You got it. That's my favorite kind.
Did you see the new trailer for Justice League?
It depends. How new?
A week or so, I think.
No. Is Superman actually in the trailer this time?
I think he is, and they reveal it was a dream.
Are they still pretending like he's not in it?
They're still pretending he's not in it. But what they did Jim. It's still dark as fuck, like literally grays and blacks. But you know what they did a lot in this one to say "fuck you, Jim and Dale. We're not as dark as you want." You know what each and every Justice League main character did? They smiled.
Ooh, first time
and
ever,
that,
right?
and that made the news. They were like, they smile. It's gonna be a more happy superhero movie from DC.
In the Flash, he's gonna be the comic. He's gonna be the funny guy, right?
Yeah.
Zing! I'm the funny guy. Oh, you're the Batman.
I always have a. It's always bad when the clips that they use for the comic relief section of a trailer are bad because they're all together and it's this little aside. There's the bat signal in the air, and Flash is like, "Hey, that's your thing. That means we gotta get going and stuff, right?" And Bruce Wayne, Affleck is like, "Yeah, we should probably do that then." He's like, "Oh, that's super cool." And that's it. That's it.
Comic relief.
And I said, that's gonna be rough.
Yeah, it's gonna be especially rough when this movie comes out and Ben Affleck's the star, right?
Well, they had to refilm scenes because he was slapping Wonder Woman's ass at the end of every take. It's like, we have to go stop Lex Luthor.
Yeah. You better sit on my lap. There's not a lot of room in the Batmobile.
I have to test the weight capacity on this bat suit to see if I'll get crushed. Why don't you just go ahead and sit on my lap to see if my legs get crushed and my pelvic bone.
You weigh a little more than 108.
See?
Callbacks to the first one.
See? Yeah, everybody this week was just like, every male celebrity, they woke up and they looked at their phone and they would see 106 missed calls and they would say, fuck.
What, Michael Keaton got hit?
No.
Okay.
But I'm just saying a lot of people, the Afflecks and
Oh yeah.
I don't know, fucking actor here and actor there. And
you scared me because I was quoting the original Batman. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, him too. I was like, what?
Oh, I'm sure he has. I'm sure Ray Kroc has probably squeezed a butt at a fucking dinner party.
He goes, what are you going to do about it? You're fucking local. But the real Ray Kroc? Yes, I'm sure. Absolutely. I saw that movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, yeah, it's your wife. I'm just staring right at her, though. Keep talking.
You want to meet her? It's like, you don't want to know how this one ends. You don't want to know.
Hint, I end up owning the world and your wife.
Jim.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know of the professional wrestler Gorgeous George?
Not much. Not much.
Well,
old school guy, right? Like 50s, 60s?
Yeah, something like that. It's even before look at the period that, because I started looking, 70s and 80s. So this is even before that.
Yeah, like one of the first TV, like when it first was big on TV, I think.
Yeah, so this is like the Freddie Blassie days and shit. But we'll probably know a bit more because Josh Gad is making a Gorgeous George movie for WWE Studios.
Ooh, like a biopic?
I'm sure it's going to be quite the work, so I probably wouldn't call it a biopic. I'm sure it'll be like 30% true.
But I mean like supposedly a biopic. You know
Probably,
what I mean?
Yes.
Like their
yes.
Bruce Lee biopic that was just a made-up martial arts movie?
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird it's Josh Gad, though.
Maybe he's just super fan. He's big, it's a big deal to him. I don't have a problem with it. I know somebody who does because he hates Josh Gad.
Oh, yeah. But it'll be interesting to see Gorgeous George because he was very influential on professional wrestling. Obviously, Muhammad Ali cited him as an inspiration for his trash talk and his showboating in the ring. So it'll be nice to see entertain me and tell me a tale of this historical figure.
Like I don't know anything about him. Is he like what regionally? Where is he from?
I couldn't tell you. I know he had like the powdered wig. He had like a valet that would give him some spritzes, and that was about it.
A little
and
handy.
then they would do body slams for 5 minutes.
No, that was the finisher.
Oh,
what are you talking about for 5 minutes? You don't show your hand that early. They lock up for a while. They do some wrist locks.
And it always bothered me in WCW when like that one Nitro girl and the one that Macho Man ended up as his valet and was probably banging. Her name was Gorgeous George.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never, we just said, don't know a lot about that man, but I do know it's a man. And now you've got this weird big-breasted lady who's like, I'm Gorgeous George. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, you're really messing with me beating off at this point.
Yeah, and it's one thing to cross over to like another thing, like, oh, that's this old basketball player from the 30s, but I'm using that name in wrestling. It's like, no, that's from wrestling to wrestling. We know that name, and it's just you're confusing us.
We don't like it, and Dale doesn't like it.
I really don't. And I remember Gorgeous George, the lady, not being attractive. Oh, and I'm right. Yeah, I'm correct.
Attractive enough.
Yeah, Macho Man.
That was during his comeback where he did the slick back hair. That was like he sort of the hay hair thing went away, and he went away for a little while.
He came back rap savage.
Came back super jacked and with his hair slicked back and everything.
Yeah. I didn't like that Macho Man.
Neither did I. I miss Macho Man.
I miss Macho Man.
I really, I wasn't a big Macho Man mark when I was a kid. I was more of a Hogan guy. But, you watch old matches and stuff. I'm like, man, I just took him for granted back then.
I wasn't the biggest fan, but I looked at him sort of how I would look at as like a Sandman, where it's just like he's probably gonna go off the reservation here at some point, go into business for himself to do a cool thing, and it might not work.
Yeah,
because he's just like, I'm gonna do this springboard off over the top rope. Oh shit! Oh, my elbow!
But then he could just sell for a long time, which is sort of the opposite of Sandman.
And God bless when they would give him a microphone, because he was good.
Macho Man? Oh, God damn it.
It was always crazy. Like, not warrior crazy, but just some good shit.
I watched I think I talked about this last week. I watched Ultimate Warrior Randy Savage from WrestleMania 7, the retirement match. That's the match where he goes into the match, everybody's booing him when he comes out. He's a complete heel. Sherry's his manager. Ultimate Warrior takes 93 elbow drops and then comes back and beats him.
7.
So then Sherry starts kicking the shit out of him, and the whole time Liz is in the audience, they keep cutting to Liz. And then at the end, they keep cutting to her, and she just can't take it anymore, and she goes in there and rescues him. And then he's instantly a face. And it works perfectly. It was so well done. Like, I'm not mad about it that he's instantly a face, because it was genuine. Was girls were crying in the crowd when Elizabeth went in there, and he, like, picked her up on his shoulders again.
Yeah.
There were women crying in the crowd that weren't paid to be doing that.
I heard some of them were, but some of them weren't. So yes, well, your point definitely.
My
stands.
cousin,
I think the
who had the Tweety Bird thing, she cried, and I know Vince McMahon didn't pay her to do that.
Right, but I think the one that they do show in the footage was a fucking plant. But yeah, that was.
It's awesome. Not even from that. It's like spliced in from a funeral.
Oh, yeah. That's where they learn that trick that they use.
She's watching the Challenger shuttle, and they just cut it in.
But what I like about that moment, because he's a heel, he's a bad guy, and then he gets this ass whooping, and then you got this mean lady, his current girlfriend, this mean old woman Sherry, just beating his shit, like just slapping him in the head, like you fucking lost, you piece of shit, and he's like he just lost. He's not even up. He's that fucked up.
And it was a career versus career match.
Mm-hmm. And so Liz comes in, she wrestles with Sherry for a second. Grabs by the hair, throws her out of the ring, and Macho Man's still trying to get up, and the fans are like, "Oh, they used to be an item, and then he turned into a real dickhead." But she saved him, so she still loves him, I guess, because why else would she be in the ring? And
we still love her.
We love her very much, and she looks tentative, and he's got his back to her, and like she like puts her hand on his shoulder. He thinks it's Sherry, so he kind of like swats at.
Yeah, he starts swinging at her a little bit.
get the fuck out. And he turns like he is gonna do a punch, and he sees a turret. He just stop. Like the timing of it gives the audience all the bits of information, and emotion to like get in position for something very cool to happen. Like, because that's a spot where they could have rushed it. That's a
Yep.
spot where he got up way too slow, and the timing just would have been off. But they fucking crushed it.
They nailed that. They nailed that. And there's the moment where he's looking into the crowd, he's looking at her, and he's like, "It's you? Like, what are you doing here? You came and say," like the looks on his face, and then they embrace, and he throws her up on his shoulders like he used to, and then the part I'm getting to, right? Mm-hmm. This is the icing on the cake. This is where they nail it. They hit this ball out of the park. Even when he was a face, she would hold the ropes for him, and he'd get in and out of the ring, or at least in the ring. Out of the ring, it's usually a match happened and people just roll out of the ring, whatever. But she would hold the ropes for him, he'd get in. She sits on the rope, and he says no. And then he holds the ropes for her, and that's when everybody loses their shit.
Because even when he's a good guy or bad guy, he's crazy. Like that's kind of his character.
He's pretty much the same guy.
Yeah, it's just So for him it's like when a beast shows emotion, you're like, oh my god, like it means twice as much.
Yep.
And it's so good. WrestleMania, was that 5? WrestleMania 5 or 7? 7.
Man. So yeah, I miss Randy Savage.
I miss Randy
And Elizabeth
Savage.
was way over. I think people sleep on that. Because she had a lot.
I don't get it. I don't get it, but she was.
Well, okay, I really liked wrestling. Meh. My cousins, not so much. A little bit, enough, but not like I did. But my cousin, who was a girl, loved Elizabeth. And there was a lot of that back then. Like preteen, young teen girls were like, she was over with these girls that had no other desire to watch wrestling.
Yeah, and I'm kind of, I wouldn't say embarrassed, but I kind of wish they weren't. Because as a character, like she was yes, you're the man. I'm going to hold the ropes for you, and I'm going to cheer for you, and I'm going to make you a steak when
Did she
when
even
we get
cheer?
Home. Yeah,
she didn't do a lot. I'm not saying
she didn't do a lot.
I'm not saying that she was like over because she was like some kind of brilliant performer, but she just was.
Yeah, but it's just I kind of wish, and that's just like the era, Mm-hmm. But I kind of wish that these young girls kind of maybe
stand by your man.
Yeah, and that's great. Loyalty's great, but fuck, I mean, because you got Sherry, and when she wasn't a super bitch heel, like that's the one you want to be.
When wasn't she that?
She had her moments when she's more tweener than anything, like that Rick Martel, Shawn Michaels stuff when they carried the load, and she was just you can't out heel them.
Yeah, but she was like, I can't ever remember her being a manager and not being a heel manager.
Yeah.
But she also thoroughly entertains me. Mm-hmm. But she does a lot of work. She doesn't just look. She doesn't just sort of look afraid all the time.
I miss Macho Man.
So there's a new WWE game out, right?
Yeah, it seems that way.
And it's it's as good as all the recent ones have been.
Yeah.
Even that good.
Lives up to it.
Our buddy JD, former host of another show we used to do and used to edit the shows, he knows these games are bad, right?
Yeah, he knows. And he bought it. He pre-ordered it, which I gave him quite the lashing. That.
I guess you just get thirsty for it.
He messages, and I get it. I used to be that way with Madden. People would be like, it's the same fucking game with updated rosters. And I'm like, yeah, but I need them updated rosters. The thing about the Madden games, and I don't know if it's true anymore, but the gameplay was sort of rock fucking solid for quite a bit there.
Yeah, it depended on like the era. But
Yeah.
yes,
These
for the
games
most part.
haven't been good since forever. These 2K
The 2K ones, I've never
wrestling
played one.
games.
I would assume never. I would
Yeah,
assume they've never been good.
yeah, and it's just like the Madden thing. They don't really change it because they think they've perfected the gameplay. So we're just going to work on tweaks and rosters every year, and entrances and arenas, but not the gameplay because we've mastered that. And fuck off, $60 game.
What was the last THQ WW, I guess F game? Was it No Mercy? Was that the last THQ? The THQ, if you
Was
guys,
it WrestleMania? I don't remember which one.
WrestleMania 2000 was the first THQ WWF one. And then No Mercy was, I think, the second one. But I don't know if they made another one after that, and it was on like PlayStation 2 or something.
This very basic Google search says WWE SmackDown in 2004 might have been at THQ.
Okay.
I don't know about that. Yeah, and actually, if it's SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth, I actually hear those games were decent. Oh no, this was SmackDown versus Raw. 2000 was SmackDown 2 Know Your Role. Rock was super fucking hot. They would like just use his catchphrase.
Were those THQ games?
I mean, I did the search there and it popped up. Video games, THQ.
Well, I know for sure WrestleMania 2000 and I want to say No Mercy were in the vein of the World Tour and WCW Revenge. Like they were that style of game, just better. Like more, deeper, and the build a character was way better.
Oh, holy shit. THQ. Now, I don't know if this is them making it or them like producing it or just distributing it, but WWE 13, 2012.
Yeah?
It was a THQ game.
Wonder if it's the case of it's the same company, but not the same people, not the same developers at that development firm.
Well, for the last THQ game, this WWE 13, IGN gave it 8.4. Game Informer gave it 9 out of 10. EGM 9 out of 10. This it seems that one
So
was
it may have
pretty
been
good.
legit.
So maybe that's why I've been sour on it, because 14, 15, 16, 17. Because I think I played one of those. I got it from the library, and it was miserable.
And it was ass.
And I know how the 2K people are, because they make NBA 2K games, and those are the same. We've mastered the gameplay. We're just going to make minor tweaks. Once again, the gameplay in those basketball games are fucking. They were the top of the industry. I don't know if that's still the case, but fucking phenomenal. I just wish they would work on the gameplay.
I know. I wish there was a really good wrestling game. I wish there was a wrestling game that would just make me want to buy it, but there isn't. I wish there was like a Steam, like an indie developer, $29 wrestling game that didn't have any licensing but was really good. Mm-hmm. Like I would deal with that.
Well, there's a Fire Pro wrestling type game on Steam, but it's like that weird 2D.
It's Fire Pro. Yeah, it's like a 3/4 2D game.
I've always heard about it. It looks like shit.
Yeah.
I hear it can be super fun, but it just looks too bad for me to take a risk on.
It was pretty hard. I had one of the Fire Pros for PS2, and it was kind of difficult.
Yeah, the timing was supposed to be pretty.
Like it was pretty hard. It just wasn't super fun. Like I remember Revenge was fun. WrestleMania 2000
those were so
fun.
fast. Those were so fast and smooth. Throw it to the rope, do a drop down.
Yeah, reversal.
Leapfrog.
Just don't fucking touch the joystick or we're not friends anymore. Because they will automatically kick out of a pin.
Oh, yeah, you would just look at their controller.
Yep. I once put a kid through a wall for touching the joystick. I shit you not.
I mean, I actually love that they put that in there, because if you wanted to like just tell a story,
You're right.
You're like, no, I want to kick out here. This is you did a back body drop. You can't fucking pin me on
2.5. He kicked out.
Yeah. By the way, WWE 13 with all those good ratings, THQ's last wrestling game, they were just the publisher, so they didn't even develop it. So I don't even know what the last THQ developed game is. And I'm not going to look it up because we got to talk about a movie, and that's going to take a long fucking time.
Why? Is it good?
Well, we're going to talk about Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984, and I think it's good. I think it's good.
I think it's good.
It's good. Let's watch this. I was able to watch this on the big screen this past weekend because these theaters are showing these old classics, and it was so much fucking fun to watch Nightmare on Elm Street on the big screen. Here's what makes it better, and this is why I love going to the theater. You just notice more because you can see more. The screen's quite big. And there's just a lot of stuff I noticed. You can't look at your phone, although some people were, but you shouldn't look at your phone or get on the computer. There's less distraction. There was a lot of shit I kind of forgot and didn't really notice about this original Nightmare.
Okay, I want to hear about this.
A lot of it's the last 30 minutes. It's just like, yeah, there's dreams, some people die, and she thwarts him.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So Nightmare on Elm Street, did you even watch it, or are you just going off memory?
I was going off memory, and then I wikied it, and I'm like, I don't remember some of this. So I just spot checked it. I just watched like the intro, watched the deaths, watched the ending, just so I could freshen it up. Because it's not the one I've seen the least. It's probably one of the ones I've seen the most, but I haven't seen it all the way through in probably a couple years. So I touched it up in spots, just so.
Cause I think normally when I watch this movie, I kind of tap out or tune out for whatever reason after Johnny Depp dies, I think. Or maybe even before, because that's like once he goes,
the end.
That's finale time. He also lasted a lot longer than I remembered. I always remember him going relatively early, like halfway at most, but that's not the case.
Well, here's one of the things, since you mentioned that, here's one of the things that I think is really cool about this movie is it's in 1984. So we've had a couple Halloweens. We've had a bunch of Friday the 13th. And there wasn't a lot of characters. It didn't feel like there was a lot of cannon fodder. Like the later ones, like, we gotta kill 14 people in this and have crazy death sequences. There was essentially 4 of the teenage characters.
Yeah,
that's it.
And they all had parents.
They all had parents, but we
don't even see all of them. We don't see Johnny Depp's parents.
They're not just getting whacked out left and right, So we get a chance to see them talk to each other and interact, and there's some humor, there's like some regular teenager stuff. It's not just like, we don't even have time because we got to kill 14 people before we
What's
get
your
to
gimmick?
the end.
Yes, you smoke marijuana. Awesome. You sports.
You're deaf. I'm going to kill you with a chalkboard. Next.
Yeah. But how can we creatively do this? Kung fu, but we can't afford it, so he's going to ghost punch you.
And this may be controversial. We're going to be real here. What I think what I love about part 3, part 4, part 5, all the sort of weird fantasy stuff and the crazy deaths, that kind of stuff almost pulls me out of the moment in the first one. Like to me, the terrifying shots are when the people in the real world are seeing what's happening, and Tina's just like up the wall and across the ceiling, and Nancy's drowning. Like that shot was really scary, where she's under the bathtub and she's like deep in the water. There's not a lot going on. It's not like a silly gag thing.
Well, yeah, because there's that. When people talk about Nightmare on Elm Street series, they say, "Oh, the first couple are scary." I mean, the first one's the scariest. And then, Freddy Krueger gets really silly with all the jokes and the punchlines. Here's my opinion. He is kind of fucking silly in this.
Yeah. Cuts his finger off.
For no
reason.
Just laughing at them, mocking them. He cuts his nipple off and fucking bugs come out of his nip knot. And he's chasing her down the alley with his little fucking goofy
run.
strut. Yeah, what the fuck?
That was like a cyber goth dance or something.
Yeah. So he was always kind of there, but it was like that playful demon
And
that's like I'm
there wasn't a ton of it compared to the rest of the content of the movie.
yeah. And I haven't seen part 2 in a while for good reason,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I remembered him being very straight-laced in 2.
Yeah, two. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, like
He's.
not fun in
It's
any
not
way.
that fun. No.
But Nightmare on Elm Street, Wes Craven was intrigued by a news story about some teens. I think one teen in particular who's afraid to go to sleep and just wouldn't go to sleep. All the coffee, all the pills, and his parents eventually got him uh, to go. He said, "I don't want to go to sleep. I'm going to die in my sleep." And they said, "You motherfucker, you need to sleep." And they managed to get that to happen, and he went to sleep, and he died in his sleep. And he called shot.
Yeah,
And Wes Craven said,
that is scary, and I've had that feeling. You know, I've struggled with anxiety and panic disorder for a long time, and that's terrifying. That's a terrifying feeling. Like, but if I go to bed, I'm not going to wake up. So that is something that makes the series scarier for me, just in general. Because we talk about this. Okay, how do you feel when you leave the theater? Are you scared when you get home? You know, we talked. I didn't say it in those exact words, but I would tell you that, like, yeah, you know, walked up the stairs a little faster tonight because I watched Friday Part 3.
mm-hmm.
You know, and to me, movies that can make you scared later, like your Halloweens and your Nightmare on Elm Streets and The Exorcist, those are the ones that stick with you.
Are you an Exorcist guy, Jim?
As in, it scares the shit out of me, so I rarely watch it. Yeah.
Here's something I noticed upon my rewatch on the big fucking screen. I'm so happy that's a thing. Nancy's mother is the worst actress in the franchise. This woman can't act.
She's
and she
pretty
ruins
bad.
every fucking scene. I don't remember that, but holy shit, people in the audience were laughing, and I was one of them. I was like, this fucking bitch can't laugh.
She's pretty bad. I think overall, like, that's maybe one of the weak spots.
And yeah, and the writing really sometimes didn't help her because, you know, Nancy's not sleeping for obvious reasons, and the parents who are estranged or divorced, which they never really explain, I don't think, which I appreciate. But they're like, he's just like, we need to figure something out for her. And the mother goes, I'm going to do something better. I'm going to get her help. And it's like, oh, God.
That's what I just said in different words.
Yeah, it's like none of that was good. So that was on the writing and that fucking woman's delivery. And everybody started laughing again. Oh.
Yeah, and we sort of knew, I mean, you're supposed to know that nothing the adults are going to do is going to help. Like, they're not going to be able to help. This is something that these teenagers have to go through on their own and sort of figure out.
I like that they tried. They do the dream study or the sleep study.
I like that they tried, too. It's different than some of the later nightmares. It's different than a lot of other horror movies where the adults are just like, yeah, whatever, that's fairy tale, or like, you're crazy. Or they're so shitty that not everyone's parents can be that shitty. Like, someone's got to have normal parents in this movie for me to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah. Heather Langenkamp, and this is a big screen spot, had a big fucking zit on her forehead like the whole movie.
Yeah, I seen that on the little screen too.
I was like, oh, fuck. They tried. Like, let's put some fucking foundation on that or whatever the fuck. And and then some scenes it wasn't there, and so then I'm distracted by that. Like, so they shot.
You're trying to figure out the sequence of when they shot stuff.
How big is it in this one? Okay, it's early on. Opening credits, scary, good music, all that stuff.
Great.
And they say Robert Englund as
then
go ahead, finish it. Robert Englund as
Francis.
You give a real guess.
Freddie with an IE.
Fred.
I knew it wasn't I knew it wasn't Freddy.
Yeah, and I saw that, and I said, okay, maybe they don't really say his name all that much in this, and that was a later franchise development. Ooh, Freddy's home, bitch. Ugh. But no, he's
Macho Man is Freddy. God, that would be the best fucking movie ever.
But no, he says
just
it.
keep on ticking. Yeah.
The dreams rise to the top. But no, he says Freddy a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
But the children and the parents are like, no, Fred Krueger. No, we took care of Fred Krueger, that fucking asshole. So, I mean, they probably didn't know that Freddy was going to be such a fucking thing. They're like, no, keep it basic. No nicknames. This is a fucking casual social hour.
It does. Yeah, it seems kind of light sounding. Like they don't call him Mikey Myers. Oh, that old Mikey Myers. Oh, JC Voorhees.
Oh, you mean Jay?
Oh, you mean Big J? Yeah, I know
Big
him.
J?
From the block. So, interesting. But yeah, the name Freddy gets used in the movie.
Yeah. I thought that was a little interesting.
So what is when do we find out? Give me a time.
I was in the theater. I couldn't have my stopwatch.
Well, give me your feeling.
Okay.
When do we find out that the parents burn this guy alive?
I'd say, and it's like a 90-minute movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say pretty close to the hour spot.
Yeah, it's not right away.
Because it's in that kitchen when she's like, I pulled his fucking hat out.
Yeah.
And she's like, Jesus Christ. And they go downstairs, and the mom reveals that, there's this child murderer. He got away on a technicality, so we burned him the fuck up. And I got his glove right here in this furnace. Check this shit out. Look at this cool glove. Which, that scene was fucking hilarious.
I just kept it in this furnace.
Yeah.
Like, what if the guy what if he comes to check the furnace? Like, I'm just here to clean what the fuck is in your furnace, lady? Oh, don't worry about that. I'm a good friend of the Christies. Oh, Fred must have left that here.
See, I'd start being real cautious of the mom because it's just like, that's what serial killers do.
Yeah, Mom, why didn't you tell me what was going on?
It's just a keepsake from our murder. Keepsake. What did I say?
Keepsake.
I'm still having for friends of Christy. Oh, man. So, yeah, that was like an hour in.
Yeah, it's deep in, and I like that twist. I also like that, I like that they get scared in the dreams. For the most part, I guess, what's his name? Rod? He doesn't really have many encounters with Freddy. But, Tina sees him a couple times. Nancy sees him a bunch.
Johnny doesn't. The boys talk about it because the girls are like, oh, these fucking nightmares. Oh, you saw them too? And every now and then the boys would be like, yeah, I couldn't sleep because I had a nightmare. And they're like, you had a nightmare too? And they'd be like, I'm a guy. I'm out of here.
So they build you up. You have this thought that there's got to be a reason why. Like, he's terrifying them. He doesn't just want to kill them. Because he could kill them. If he has the power to just kill them in their sleep, why wouldn't he just kill them all in their sleep? Instantly, right? So there's got to be something more to it. Like, maybe it's based on your fears. Maybe it's based on the fear you have inside. Yeah. I like the tricks. I like the whole, you're going to wake me up when, you'll know when to wake me up. And then I'm going to grab onto him. I'm going to yank him into the real world. They used that several times during the series, but I think that was I like that twist. Like, maybe if he's out in our world, he's not as powerful. And it's just a guess, Nobody, it wasn't like old man dream guy. It's like, what you gotta do is get him into the real world.
She grab him and wake up, and he comes with you.
It was sort of an accident, right? Like, didn't she grab his hat by mistake?
It was the hat.
Yeah, and then so she sort of figures it out on her own. It's not like some stupid, like, well, you got to take this knife from his ancestors, and if you're the blood of his blood, you put it in his chest, and Roman candles will shoot out. Like, there's no character to just drop that knowledge and be there for no other reason.
You once, and like logic wise, everything in this movie works, and it shouldn't because it's about a fucking dream demon, but it works. But that's when it falls apart, when she's like, here's this fucking hat, and the mom's just like, I'm gonna put that in the coffee and hide that.
She just got shit hidden all over the house. I got his left boot in the old linen closet. Don't go in there. Gotta bury his left boot in a shallow grave and set it on fire.
See, like that, like, I think, because she doesn't do shit. Like, the mom's just like, I'm just gonna get drunk now. Yeah. But she should have been like, oh, fuck, I kind of believe you now, because I remember that hat from when I burned that man alive.
Yeah, what doesn't make sense.
And then she should have got killed. I'm gonna help you. It didn't work. He killed me and continued the movie how we were going to.
Correct.
But her not giving a shit is like,
Well, here's what I don't get. It's not as if this is not like It, right? Where there's this supernatural demon that feeds on fear, and then 27 years later it comes back, and then those characters react as if like, yeah, we know about this. She sort of reacts nonchalantly, but he wasn't a fucking dream demon when she killed him. Like, this should all be news to her. Like, it should be pretty fucking out there and, like, ridiculous. But she's like, oh, yeah, well, you know, like, you're expecting the seeker to be like, yeah, we knew about this dream demon guy and we fought him before.
Or it's just like, yeah, he was kidnapping these kids and doing weird satanic dream experiments.
As far as she knew, he was just, they change it to child murderer, but he's supposed to be child raper.
When does raper happen? This was...
Well, no, the original, in the first one, he was supposed to be a molester, like a child molester, child rapist, and they changed it to a child murderer for the first movie.
Is that for the MPAA?
Who knows? In the 80s, it could have been anything. They're like, nope, you cut this person's head off, rated X.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan's got values, motherfucker.
Because I remember when they said that he was a child killer, and I was just like, it's more than that.
Yeah, he was supposed to be more than that in that script, and then they changed it to sort of soften it a little bit. And then I want to say it's probably around part 5, part 6. Maybe they don't even really go there with it.
I remember it being somewhat early. Freddy Krueger.
Well, the gym teacher's a rapist in part 2, but that's different.
Yeah. He sure is.
He is a product of a gang rape. We find that out in 5. Son of 100 maniacs.
Son of 100 maniacs. So here's the thing. A group of friends. This is the plot of this film. They start... I love this. I love the reveal of these nightmares. Because Tina's having them. Mm-hmm. Nancy's having them. And I love how the boys are just like, yeah, I couldn't sleep because it's a fucking nightmare with that fucking knife guy. Got to go to class. So it's like, oh, they're all having them.
I just still got to jerk off, though. I mean, that's all I can think about, really.
And even, like, you think it was, I don't know if it was Rod or Johnny Depp, but she's just like, how do you handle it? He was just like, I just remember it's a dream. And then I jerk off.
Johnny Depp says that earlier. I don't know if that's the one scene you're talking about, but he's like, just tell yourself that it's just a dream, and then you'll wake up, and it's fine.
Yeah. So I like that. I mean, in a way, I kind of wish she would have remembered it sooner, but I do like how the solution was there. Mm-hmm. The solution was always kind of right there.
Until we get to the end.
So yeah, let's get to that. You gotta fucking help me, because I start losing track of what's a dream and what's not. Because
the very end It's very, to me, it's very obvious. I'm talking the last scene. Everybody's alive again.
Well, yeah, not that.
Okay.
I'm talking. So you haven't seen this recently because this was damn near new to me. It's that, all right, Johnny Depp. I got bars on my windows. You're over there, and you're gonna die real soon. But I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna set this for 12:10, and that's when you're gonna come over. I'm gonna pull him out, and you're gonna beat him with a baseball bat or something because you're a jock. And it doesn't work out that way.
No.
He ends up getting killed.
Yep.
And the police show up to Johnny Depp's house, and they're like, "Oh my God, look at all this blood." And somebody even says, "Gonna need him up," which is fucking hilarious. A lot of humor in this one.
More
It's
than you
surprising.
remember, right?
Yeah, gonna need him up. It's gruesome, and her dad's across because he's the sheriff or some shit, and she's in the window across the street, like, "Dad, needs your help." And he's just like, I'll be there in a bit, honey. There's been a murder.
There's blood everywhere.
Yeah, and they're dealing with that. Meanwhile, she's like, "Fuck it," because she basically does the same thing with her dad. Dad, I'm gonna need you to come over here at this time.
Right.
We're gonna do it again. Let's play too. But this time, she says, "Fuck all this," and she starts booby trapping the house. And she's got a sledgehammer above the door. She's got tripwire. She's got light bulbs that'll explode.
Yep. She's gonna home alone his ass.
She home alones his ass, and that's what happens. She falls asleep. She grabs him. And she wakes up, but he's not there. And it's a great little jump scare because you think it didn't work. Like, oh, he's not in the real world. And he goes, "Rah!" And oh no, he is fucking there. And begin the booby traps. Begin the chase. Begin going downstairs where she burns him, and the house is on fire. And there's
Sort of a false finish.
And the lieutenant across the street sees it and is just like, maybe I should get the sheriff. And once again,
how about you get the guys with the hoses?
Yeah, once again, hilarious. And he's just like, "Sheriff, your fucking house." And the dad starts running over there, and he does, and he gets in there, and he's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck is all of this? And she's like, "Downstairs, I set him on fire." And they go downstairs, and he's not there.
Nope.
But there's a footstep in flames, a trail of flaming footsteps. They follow it upstairs, up to the second floor, and it's in the mom's room. And he's on fire on top of the mom, and like killing her. And she dies. And she dies. She gets sucked into the bed, and she does the whole. And that's when she realizes. And this is
She meaning Nancy.
Nancy. And this is essentially the end of the movie before the final bullshit scene. She says, "Oh, this is a dream. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not giving you that power. Blah blah blah." Johnny Depp. And he says, "I'll kill you anyway." And it doesn't work, and he fades away because she's used the knowledge to just don't give him the power. And that's it. And I don't remember that scene being a dream, because that's a dream.
Yeah, but then, like you said, you start to question what has been a dream.
Yeah.
It's sort of, what was I just thinking of? It's sort of Total Recall. Like, what was Recall?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's like that. So how much of this was a dream?
Yeah.
Was it a dream when I looked across the street? Was it a dream from halfway through the movie? Like, what the fuck?
And that's when they hit you with the next scene, the very next scene, which is happy music, sunlight. It's a school day. We see all her friends are alive and well in the car. Johnny Depp's there, Rod's there, Christina's there. So now we think, well, fuck, maybe it's all been a dream. But that last scene was a dream. It's all been a dream. They're all okay.
Then they start to reveal things. So when she walks outside, it's just weird. There's like a weird haze, a weird fog. Mm-hmm. It just sort of looks dreamlike. Like, it doesn't look real. It doesn't look sort of natural. And then her mom's all like, "Hey, I'm not an alcoholic," suddenly. It's just weird. then things go worse. She gets in the car. The top goes up. It's Freddy's sweater. The doors lock. They're not locking the doors. We're not doing this. What's going on?
Jump rope girls are there.
Yep. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. She's screaming for her mom to run, and the mom's just like, hey, I'm making you peanut butter and jelly later. And then Freddy pulls her ass through the door.
Yeah.
So then what was the dream?
What was like? They never answer that because they give you that. Just joking. This last half an hour has been a dream, and it's like, hey, that was fun. That was well played. So what was it? What wasn't a dream? Where are we? And they don't fucking give it to you. And I don't remember that. I always remember the last scene, which is like, it's a dream, and so even that's a dream. The fuck, Jim?
What I wish.
The fuck?
I don't know what you call this in your fancy screenwriting world, but I wish there was some sort of sign where maybe you probably don't pick up on it during the movie, but after the fact, you hear something like, just for example, like, well, anytime there's a clock and the time is this time, you know they're in a dream, and that's how you know. You know, like, I wish there was some built-in rule where retroactively you could go through and sort of figure out what's a dream and what isn't.
That would have been like all the clocks move backwards. I don't know if you noticed that.
Right. And then you could sort of pick it apart that way.
Yeah, that would have been fucking neat.
But the ending really, it's not your typical, oh, the bad guy's still alive ending. It really throws the whole movie for a loop. Because if Freddy's still there, well then that also must be a dream.
Yeah.
You know? Especially the way it's shot and like the fog and the weird stuff that, like, if it was him in the real world, the top of Johnny Depp's car wouldn't be Freddy's sweater, like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of does. I wouldn't say it falls apart, but they really start throwing some spaghetti at the wall there.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's some good spaghetti, but it don't belong on that wall. Get it off that wall.
No, I mean,
whenever I watch this movie for years and years, for some reason my brain always did this. There's the finale with the mom getting burned and Freddy's burned, and she I'm not afraid of you. And then there's the very final scene with the car. I always imagined that there were scenes in between that we just didn't see. But there was some days she went to school. There were some days she, this and that. And I always imagined that the final car scene happened days or weeks later. But now I don't know.
You have no idea, right? I mean, we're led to believe it's like right away. We have no reason to believe otherwise, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And even Nancy sort of seems, she's sort of acting weird.
Yeah.
Like, she's not even really acting like she went through this ordeal and now she's sort of relieved that everyone's still alive. She's just kind of like, okay, I'm going to school, Mom. It's just weird.
One thing I do love is, because, we just talked about how the fucking last 30 minutes of her doing booby traps and being awesome is a dream. And isn't that neat? That's a neat dream where she has this dream where she's super on point, super brave, super smart, super clever and crafty, and defeats the bad guy. Like, that's a dream. Because we've seen her in real life, and she's kind of meek and timid, and she has her moments, but she's not fucking Sarah Connor. But in the last half an hour, she's fucking Sarah Connor.
Right. She's a very powerful character.
Because that's what we do when we dream. We're superheroes. And that was her version of being a super Nancy.
Until the end, where it's all that was a dream. So
just needs a better finish.
We got a Vanilla Sky going on, and I don't like it.
I didn't plan on I'm not like shitting on the end here.
I'm not.
Boy, it's a great movie, but damn that ending. I just would have loved a little closure. And I get the gimmick. I get him on the bus. I get that. Setting up a sequel. I understand. That's fine. But you got to give us something too. Close your story.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it would be more fair to the audience to let them know that's at least some of this was real.
Yeah.
And we don't know for sure. We can guess. We can sort of guess what was and what wasn't until the very end. So maybe it wasn't a dream and she was wrong. Well, I mean, old man dreamer didn't tell her. Here's how you know it's a dream. Maybe her mom really was being fucking burned alive. She goes, this is all just a dream. She couldn't handle it and she fucking passed out and she's dreaming at the end.
Yeah.
We don't know. Old man dreamer wasn't there to give us the rules.
Old man NyQuil.
There's 3 rules. Don't get them wet after midnight.
Don't let your parents drink.
Yeah. Don't let your parents drink and store murder weapons in their furnaces.
don't keep souvenirs from your murders. Oh shit. So yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. It's still very good.
Yes.
It's still very, very good.
The theme too. The Nightmare on Elm Street theme is so creepy, so good. I love hearing that.
And eventually we'll do 3 Dream Warriors, and we'll probably do a big old franchise recap. But today is not that day. But I do want to do box office prediction real quick, where that film was Happy Death Day, which I haven't seen yet, but I will.
No, you haven't.
No, I wanted to, but it was a busy fucking week. Went to the zoo, had a D&D thing. It was just crazy. Happy Death Day. You said $6 million for that film. I said $7 million for that film. It made. I'm going to tell you right now, it made higher.
What?
Do you want to make a second guess here, real quick?
Do I want to make a second?
It overperformed.
Guess? Okay, so you win. That's fine.
What do you think it got?
You win, but I'm going to make a second guess. I'm going to say 14.
26 million.
Jesus Christ!
Almost 30 million for Groundhog Day with murder. And what's fucked up?
Damn.
And I get it. This is the time. Put out your horror films, your Purge 5s, and your Annabelle 6, and your Happy Death Days. Jigsaw. That's coming out. There's no horror movies coming out this weekend, which is one of the reasons we're not doing box office prediction for this upcoming week, because there's no fucking horror. I don't count The Snowman with Michael Fassbender. That's supposed to be dog shit and not worth our time. And Geostorm was supposed to come out like 2 months ago. But
oh, Geostorm.
Yeah. So, and besides, we know what movie we'll be discussing for the October 31st episode, 2 weeks anyway.
We do.
But for next week's show, I think we're going to discuss, I was on the fence since I won box office prediction, so I'm going to pick here, and I'm going to pick a horror film. They're going to be showing it on the big screen at my local Marcus Theater, so I'm going to go see it. I asked you early this episode. It's The Exorcist.
Oh, God. Dale, the last time I tried to watch The Exorcist, I was a grown-ass man. As a grown-ass man, it was after a blackened show or something. It was late. I was home alone. Fired it up on Netflix. It was on Netflix for whatever reason. I got to the scene. Do you remember the movie well?
No.
Okay. Well, early in the movie, there's a scene where Regan is looking. I think it's a Ouija board. And they're looking at it, and it just moves quickly. Something moves. I don't remember if it's a Ouija board or not. There's something where there's an object on a board or something, and it moves. See, I don't know the movie that well because I've only seen it twice. And I went to watch it as a third time, and I'm in it. I'm like, it's not that scary. And then this little thing moves, and I shut it off immediately. I said, nope, I'm done. Right? I'm done here, bro. So I hate That's you. Funny. I'm going to have to watch it with Chris because I can't watch this movie alone.
Good.
And I don't know, maybe I'm overselling it. Maybe when I watch it all the way through, I won't be scared, but I'm pretty sure I will be.
Because I think I've tried, in the last 5 years, also on Netflix, and I just wasn't feeling it. So what is this weak shit? But I have a feeling if I'm forced to focus on the movie and in a theater with all the music and the sounds, that it'll be a better experience.
Yeah, and part of the reason it scares me so much is it was built up for a long time. We won't get into this too much. This is the end of the show. But people built it up for a long time for me as being really scary. Like, it's so scary you can't even handle it. So, and I was raised Catholic. So the whole when I was like practicing Catholic as a kid, well, the devil's real. He could just fucking possess somebody. So that made it even scarier.
Yeah.
So
it's like built-in marketing.
Yeah, there you go. Built-in marketing. Freddy's not real. Jesus will save me from Freddy. But the devil's real, and he'll possess you, make you fuck a cross.
Any plugs before we get out of here?
No, sir.
Likewise,
Nine songs. Rhythm guitars are done on 9 songs.
Almost there.
Almost there. Getting there.
Please check out characterworkpodcast.com for other episodes. Click the Amazon link and buy some stuff. Chris, it is now officially okay to start Christmas shopping. Don't put up your Christmas decorations, but you can start the shopping. That is acceptable.
I know people listen to the show because I know some of them personally, right? Here's what I want to say.
Uh-oh.
And you don't even got to do it social media wise, not Facebook or whatever. If you're going to Facebook it, just private message. Just try and share the show with one person that you know that you think would probably be into it. Just personally, just try and pass it along.
Yeah.
You know?
Ask them what they think about the Nightmare ending. Because I think a lot of people don't remember the Nightmare on Elm Street ending, how they think they do. So this might be a good one for
and a false finish. And so share this one. It's Halloween time. It's an easy share. We're not that intolerable.
This was episode 41, Nightmare on Elm Street. Thanks for listening. I'm Gorgeous George.
I'm Knives for Fingernails.